Hey guys, welcome back to the Curly Reader. My name's Amanda, and today I want to share with you the books I'm planning on reading for series September. Okay, so my friends Krista from Books and Jams and Sarah from Sarah's Nightstand are hosting a very casual readathon, I guess, in September called Series September. And it's just kind of a time to encourage everybody to read books in series that they have had sitting on their shelves for a while. So I wanted to participate. I'm not a huge series reader. I don't read a lot of series, but I do have some that I've had on my shelves for a little while, some that I'm interested in, things like that. And so I have picked out some books for each of the prompts on their 3x3 tic-tac-toe, I guess, board. And I wanted to share them with you today. This is kind of the pile that I'm going to be picking from for the month of September. I'm not planning on reading all of these necessarily, but these are the ones that I'm the most interested in reading for series September, and so let's just kind of get into it. So, like I said, they have 9 prompts, and I picked at least one book for each of these prompts. And yeah, the first prompt is to start a new series. So for this prompt, I want to read The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osmond. I think it's Osmond. I don't remember. Osman. Anyway, this is a murder mystery, I believe. It has gotten a ton of praise. The cover is super cute, and I've been wanting to read it for quite some time now, and so I thought that this would be a great opportunity to read something that's a little outside of my wheelhouse, but that I've been really, really wanting to read. And it is the start of a mystery series, and other than that, I don't really know a whole lot about it. I know that Chantel from Chantel Reads All Day really enjoyed it. That's where I first heard about it from, and I've just kind of been seeing it around since then, and it has piqued my interest. So that is my selection, my kind of book on the pile for that prompt. The next prompt is to read 2 books in the same series or by the same author. And so for this one, I selected books in the Track series by Jason Reynolds. I read the first book in the series during middle grade March. The first book is Ghost. Actually, I have it right here. Ghost. I read this during middle grade March. And then after that, there is Sunny, Patina, and Lou. And so ideally, I would like to read all of these during September. They're not very long. I'll probably listen to the audiobooks, and I thought that it would be great to finish up this series for this prompt. So that is my selection for that prompt. The next prompt is to read a book in an older series. So something that has either been on your shelves for a really long time, something that was published a while ago, and I have something that fits both of those bills. This is a book that has been on many the TBR that I have had on my channel over the course of the last however many years I've been doing this. And that is This Present Darkness by Frank Peretti. So this is a Christian fiction book kind of about spiritual warfare. And other than that, I'm not real sure. I just know what else it's about. I just know that my parents both love this book. I know a lot of people who have really, really loved this book. And I have been meaning to read it for about 20 years now and have still not read it. So hopefully I can get this read in the month of September. That'd be fantastic because this has been on my shelves pretty much since I moved out of my parents' house. So, and that's been a while. All right, the next prompt is to read a book in a popular series. So the one that I chose for this prompt is another middle grade book, and that is The Penderwicks by Jean Birdsall. This is a middle grade series about 4, I believe, sisters, and there's a bunch of books in them. They seem so sweet. I've been wanting to read this for so long. I meant to read this during middle grade March, and I never did. And so I figured this would be a really good time to read this. This has been around for a really long time. So many people have read this and loved it. And yeah, so that's what I decided to use for this prompt. You'll see that I'm throwing in a lot of middle grade books in here because I have not been reading a lot of middle grade lately, and I have been kind of craving it. So I'm trying to kind of have a good mix of not just all middle grade, but kind of throwing in some easier books to maybe bump up my participation points in this readathon, if you will. But anyway, that was my popular series selection. The next prompt is to finish a series, and for this one, or to catch up in a series, like whatever, read the last published book. Anyway, and so for this one, I want to read Isn't It Romantic by Lyssa Kay Adams, I believe is the author. And this is the most recent release in the Bromance Book Club series. They're companion novels. I really, really love the first one. The second and third one were okay, and I heard the fourth one is really good, and so I really, really want to read that one and catch up on the series. I'm really excited. These books kind of all revolve around a group of men who read romance novels to be able to relate more with the women in their lives. So, like I said, I really, really love the first one, and I'm really hoping that the fourth one knocks it out of the park as well. All right. Next, we have to read a book that is outside of your comfort zone. So something different. So whether that's a different genre, a different format, a different age range, whatever. This is hard for me because I read a lot of everything. I read audio, ebook, physical. I read middle grade, YA, adult. So I really kind of had to look for something in a different genre. I thought that that would be the easiest kind of approach to this for me. And I was recently introduced to a new cozy mystery series called Shady Hollow. I don't remember who the author is now, but I will have the book linked below. But it is called Shady Hollow, and it is a cozy mystery, but it is told by animals. So it's like a little fox is, the main character, and then there is a moose that like owns a coffee shop, and a hummingbird that is the town gossip, and things like that. So it's very much kind of told from the point of view of animals, which is definitely not going to be for everyone, but it sounded really, really cute. And it's the first in, I think, a 3 or 4 book series, and I cannot wait to read it. So this is going to be my pick for that, because this is definitely something way outside of my comfort zone. It is an adult book. And so, yeah, cozy mysteries, not my thing, but this one just sounded like too much fun for me to not read. So this definitely had to fall into this category. Okay, next is to read a book that you own more than one in the series and you haven't started the series yet. And so for me, I picked another middle grade book, and I picked Rainy Nightingale by Kate DiCamillo. This is the first book in the Three Rancheros series. I think it's a companion series. The other ones are Beverly Right Here in Louisiana's Way Home, I believe, but I haven't started it yet, and I own all 3 of them. And so, yeah, I don't really know what this is about, other than it's about these 3 friends. And yeah, Raimi Clark has a plan. 2 days ago, her father left with a dental hygienist. If Raimi can win the Little Miss Central Florida tire competition, then her father will see Raimi's picture in the paper and maybe come home. So that sounds lovely and heartbreaking, and just like a middle grade novel that I would love. So that is my selection for that, because I own all 3 of them and have not read any of them yet. All right, the next prompt is to read a book that there is an adaptation that is either out or coming out so that you can watch the adaptation. And I had a really hard time coming up with one for this. There's not a lot. I don't watch a lot of TV or movies anymore, and I will watch some, but I don't watch a lot. And especially series are hard, because most of the adaptations that are coming out now, I've already read the series. And this is going to end up being a reread for me, the book that I selected for this prompt. But it's one that I haven't read in a really, really, really long time. And I have been wanting to reread it and then also revisit the movie, because I love the movie. And that is The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants by Anne Brashares? Whatever. Anyway, like I said, this is an old book. I don't know how it's going to age. It was published in this is going to age me because I read these as a teenager. 2001. So, and it is just about a pair of jeans that these 4 friends all share. They're all of very different body types, but somehow magically the jeans fit all of them. And so they spend the summer sending the jeans back and forth to each other to share them throughout the whole summer. And the book just kind of follows each of the friends through the summer and their different life experiences that they're having. And I loved this book as a teenager, and so I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what I think of it now. But I have been wanting to reread and rewatch the movie, and so I thought that this would be a fun kind of nostalgic read for that prompt. Okay, and then the last of the 9 prompts is to read a book in a trilogy. This is another one that I had a really hard time with because I'm not reading a lot of YA anymore, and YA is where you really get a lot of the trilogies. A lot of books now are either they're either standalones or they're part of a much bigger series or a much longer series in a trilogy, and so I couldn't find one that I really, really wanted to read. And then I remembered that there was a book that I've been wanting to read for quite some time, and it is a beast of a book, so I'm crossing my fingers that I'll be able to make it through it this next month. But it is Fall of Giants by Ken Follett. This is the first in the Century trilogy by him. I've read Pillars of the Earth by him, which was good, not great. And I've been really, really intrigued to read this Century trilogy. My understanding is that this trilogy follows a family throughout an entire century. So it kind of starts, I believe, like with some of the world wars, and kind of goes throughout and follows the same family throughout. And I'm not sure 100% about any of the other details. I know it's a thick one, and I will probably be listening to the audiobook from my library because I don't own this one, but it's one that I've been really interested in, and so I'm hoping that I can fit this one into September. Okay, so those are the books that I picked out for the 9 prompts that Krista and Sarah came up with. And then I also have a few little bonus picks that I'm throwing on the pile because they're parts of series, but they don't necessarily fit into any of the prompts. And so I just kind of wanted to add them. So the first one is the next book in the Keeper of the Lost Cities series. About said trilogy. It's not a trilogy. It's 9 books long. This is a middle grade fantasy series. I read the first one during middle grade March. They're chunky books, but I loved the first one, and so I've been wanting to pick up the second one. I just haven't yet, and I'm thinking that maybe September's the right time. I'm hoping I can find this one on ebook maybe from my library. I recently got a Kindle, and I am in love with reading off of my Kindle, which I never ever thought I would be. But I'm thinking if I can get this one on ebook, I would be able to kind of speed through it pretty quick. So yeah, I'm excited to hopefully read that one. So that one's going on the pile. Another middle grade fantasy book that I'd like to add to this pile is a book that was sent to me by a publisher, and that is the Dreamkeeper saga. The first book is The Dragon and the Stone. This is by Catherine Butler. This is a Christian fiction middle grade fantasy. It is the first book in the Dreamkeeper saga, and I have been very, very curious to pick this one up and maybe see if my daughters might like it. But yeah, so I'm adding this one to the pile because I've been wanting to read it for a few months now, and I just haven't gotten around to it, and I would love to be able to review that one for the publisher. And then the last book that I'm adding to this stack is actually a compilation of 3 novellas, and that is Skyward Flight by Brandon Sanderson. This has, the 3 books are Sunreach, Redawn, and Evershore. These are 3 novellas that come between Starsight and Cytonic. Yeah, Cytonic. Sorry, I had to make sure I was saying that right. In the Skyward series. And so I got this from my library, but I think I'm going to listen to these on audio as well because I can get the audio. I was not expecting it to be this big when I got it, but I can get each of them individually on audio from my library as well. And so I think I might do that this do that way. And I'm excited. This is a YA sci-fi series by Brandon Sanderson that I've really, really enjoyed so far, and I'm excited to read these novellas. I have the paperback copy of Cytonic pre-ordered because it came out in hardback first, and I wanted the paperback. I digress. But I'm hoping to get through these before that paperback gets to me. And I would like to catch up with this one as well. So I guess this could fall into the like catching up on a series, but Cytonic's out, so it doesn't really count. But anyway, those are all of the books that I am hoping to read in September. Like I said, I probably won't read all of these, but this is kind of this pile that I'm hoping to pick from. I will also be selecting a few other ones as well, I'm sure. Oh, I forgot to mention another series that was like a bonus series that I wanted to add to the list is the Well Met series by Jen DeLuca. I read the first one in August and really, really, really liked it. And so I'm hoping to read some of the following books in that series in the month of September as well. I'll probably listen to them because I listened to Well Met. But yeah, so I know this is a little chaotic, but are you planning on participating in Series September? I would love to hear what you're planning on reading for that. Make sure you go and check out Krista and Sarah's TBRs and their announcements and all of that if you want more information about Series September. And if you have read or are interested or have opinions or comments about any of these books that I've mentioned today, I would love if you would leave those comments down below in the comments section, and I would love to chat with you down there. So that's going to do it for today. I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that you stick around and subscribe. And until next time, see ya.